Salutations, my name's Cavill and my favorite cartoon is Inanimate Insanity. I've been wanting to make a video about it since I began my channel, but there have been a few inhibitors. Mainly the show's hectic yet fascinating development history. Season 1 is far from bad, but it's exactly what you'd imagine when I say edgy BFDI knockoff. It's watchable, and really, we gotta respect any webtoon that's 15 years old.
Mark this day in the history books, for today, LEGO Star Wars 2 hits the shelf.
Most webtoons that old. Season 2 has a massive boost in quality, but the turning point is arguably episode 7. Slowly, this show no longer paid attention to the contests, instead spotlighting the toxic environment and the characters' feeble attempts to form friendships within it.
Test tube. To be honest with you, I don't want him to have to hatch, okay? I mean, wouldn't that be great? If he could just stay calm and secure in his little protective shell and have his patterns, right?
The thing is, when I said slowly, I meant slowly. As the production quality surged, the production speed plummeted. Season 2 started over a decade ago, but in the last 5 years, they've only released one episode. So many character arcs are left in stasis, and that's the biggest reason reviewing this show is so difficult. It's like reviewing a book without reading the final chapter. There's only one character who's not only been formally retired, but actually completed her character arc, and that'd be Marshmallow, the subject matter I finally settled for. Now, Marshmallow is the only character who, I would argue, began her character arc in season 1. Out of the cast, she was probably the sanest. She's tied with Pickle for having committed only one murder. For that reason, her only friend was Paintbrush. She avoided everyone else and secretly judged them. I can't really blame her. The original cast ranged from unbelievably stupid to completely sociopathic, and people like Knife and Balloon viewed Marshmallow as an easy target. As the cast grew, however, so did Marshmallow's social circle. The first contestant introduced was Apple, the second dumbest character, and the coiny to Marshmallow's Fiery. Things went much better with the last contestant, Bo, Marshmallow's new best friend. And by better, I mean that Marshmallow murders her in a vain attempt to save MePhone. She isn't important yet, but remember what Marshmallow did to her. Back to Apple, the rivalry began when she was excited for Santa Claus and Marshmallow told her that Santa isn't real. To fix it, Marshmallow then disguised as Santa, which ruined her Christmas a second time, and she's been picking on Marshmallow ever since. Marshmallow was used to being targeted by bullies, so logically, she assumed that Apple was doing it out of pure malice. That's why in season 2, Marshmallow finally realizes why Apple was so upset, which leads to an apology and a friendship, which is wholesome considering what these two have in common. You see, Apple's probably the least popular person on this show, excluding Balloon. Apple had joined when almost a third of the contestants were already eliminated, and the remaining contestants had a lot of history together. Add this to Apple's general stupidity, and you get a character who can't seem to make friends. She literally gets left on an island for 2 years before anybody notices. Marshmallow may have only 2 friends, but even Santa can't stand this kid. The result of this social awkwardness was Apple becoming very clingy, as she now wants to spend every moment with her new best friend. Marshmallow, not really someone who sets boundaries, begins to secretly resent her for it, until episode 6. This is when they find the spirit of Bo in the haunted manor, who forgives Marshmallow for the murder cause she's just excited to catch up with her bestie. Marshmallow is so frustrated with Apple that she barely pays attention to Bo, however, which frustrates Bo to the point of doing something awful.
Yes, I'm so glad Marshmallow is gone. Now I can enjoy myself.
Apple?
After all, I am just using her vote to get farther in the game.
You big jerk! I can't believe you've been using me!
But Marshmallow, I was just kidding. It was a big joke. Ha ha.
Marshmallow doesn't realize what Bo did, however, and thinks the entire friendship was a sham. Apple was just using her for audience likability. Apple doesn't understand what happened and tries desperately to win Marshmallow back, but it's all for naught as she's eliminated in the next episode with a staggering 2,000 votes. It's clear that Marshmallow had swayed the audience against Apple, but she can't indulge in schadenfreude for too long because her perception of reality is now unstable. The host won't let her return to the haunted manor, so her only friend is Paintbrush once again. Paintbrush themselves had changed a lot though, taking challenges far more seriously than in season 1. They were attempting to micromanage the team, which led to tons of stress and disregard.
Well, Fan, isn't that just interesting? Have you ever analyzed dirt? Well, how about now? Is it interesting enough? You got enough information down there? What are you gonna do, write it on your blog?
Fan did nothing wrong in this scene, he just isn't taking the game seriously and isn't thinking of consequences. Paintbrush is so worried about being eliminated that they've become pretty toxic, which Marshmallow tries to ask about, but there are two problems. One is that Paintbrush is too distracted by team leadership and constantly blows her off. The other problem is that Paintbrush isn't alone. Mifo, Nickel, Test Tube, Soap, Taco, Balloon, Knife, and supposedly Apple, they've all fallen into this mindset that victory requires sacrifice, and sometimes that includes your friends. Marshmallow doesn't believe that though. She thinks that true friends will happily risk $1 million for each other like they did in season 1. In turn, she starts to wonder if Paintbrush really is her friend or if they chose the game over Marshmallow just like Apple did. That begs the question, if Paintbrush is no longer her friend, then is anybody on Inanimate Insanity really friends, or are they all just playing roles in the show? This question nags Marshmallow to the point she breaks the rules and returns to the haunted manor. She needs to talk to Bo. However, Marshmallow still won't talk about anything other than her mixed feelings toward Apple, Paintbrush, and Inanimate Insanity as a whole. This makes Bo furious. So furious, she accidentally reveals how she possessed Apple and immediately apologizes for it. This worsens Marshmallow's fear of fake friendships until Bo explains why she was so desperate.
Contestants like Kumquat
Apple.
are the only people Marsh actually cares about. I had to even the playing field, cause what chance did I have against an actual player? I need to stand out, or else I'd be nothing.
To me?
Yeah.
Ever since Marshmallow killed her, Bo has basically been alone in the haunted manor. She misses competing on Inanimate Insanity because there were so many people to talk to, even if Marshmallow was her only real friend. The show is endless socializing, and Marshmallow has the opportunity to find newer, smarter friends. Because Bo isn't on the show anymore, she's worried about Marshmallow leaving her behind, and lying about Apple was her moment of weakness. When Marshmallow realized how Bo felt, everything clicked. This toxic environment isn't the fault of Paintbrush or any other person, it's the show's fault. Inanimate Insanity demands teamwork, which requires camaraderie, but it also demands competition, which requires efficiency and often selfishness. It creates a vicious cycle where you must choose between happiness and success.
Wow, that's weird. I think I see it the exact opposite way. Contestants are divided for fun. They face challenges that are never done. Since every single person you meet could cause your defeat, all they want is your reaction as you become a fraction of land. Between who you really are and what you know can get you far. It's not meant for us to transcend.
Their duet, Afterlife in the Limelight, it beautifully exposes the root of Inanimate Insanity's toxicity. It encourages friendship, then pits those friends against each other. Do you want to be relaxed and lose the challenge like Fan, or do you want to win by pretending to be someone you're not, like Microphone? Sometimes it's worth it, whether you're shallow like Taco or devoted like Toilet. Most of the time, the answer is no, which inspires Marshmallow to abandon the show, recognizing it for the hellhole it is. She decides to begin living at the Haunted Manor and brings Apple along with her, which looks to me like a happy ending. So let's recap. Marshmallow got bullied by tons of people, but then realized her enemy Apple only hated her because of a misunderstanding. She then becomes friends with Apple before finding out Apple was taking advantage of her for the sake of winning Inanimate Insanity. She then begins to notice this type of behavior from everybody else, especially her friend Paintbrush, and it makes her wonder if none of the contestants are true friends. Throughout all this, she had Bo, and they were such besties that murder was a drop in the bucket. Bo is a genuine friend, and that's exactly what Marshmallow needed. Someone who doesn't seem capable of manipulation.
Oh no, I'm alone. You're not alone. We can be friends. So we're forming an alliance? Okay, I have no idea what an appliance is, so let's just be friends. Sure, whatever.
But lo and behold, even someone as straightforward as Bo took advantage of her bestie because the unfulfilled promises of Inanimate Insanity. This brought Marshmallow to the conclusion that $1 million isn't worth sacrificing who you are or the people you love. She quits the show and feels better than ever because she finally knows that her friends truly care about her. Now, one of the things that kept me from making this video is that Marshmallow is definitely one of the lesser characters in this show. Her drama is nothing compared to Nickel and Suitcase, Mike and Taco, Me Phone and Toilet. She's more of a creator surrogate than anything, observing the show as it changes and providing commentary. She's the first to realize how toxic the show is and the first to find the solution, but she certainly isn't the last. Inanimate Insanity is already an incredibly difficult show to interpret, but without Marshmallow, that pivot into serious drama would have been far rockier. I interpret the message of Inanimate Insanity as follows. If you can't find satisfaction within your workplace, your community, or even your family, sometimes it's best for everyone involved if you cut your losses and look for happiness elsewhere. You'll need to give up on many things you've worked towards and begin working toward things that would be otherwise unnecessary. It's painful and time-consuming, but the alternative is subjecting yourself to a life of misery and insincerity, letting it burrow into your soul until you lose sight of who you are. It's the hardest choice to make, but hey, a marshmallow believes in you.